Russian forces attacked a supermarket in the southern Ukrainian city of Zaporizhzhia on December 14, unleashing a sudden and powerful strike that shocked residents and disrupted everyday life across the area. The bombardment injured over a dozen people, including a 6-year-old child, according to Governor Ivan Fedorov, who described the attack as one of the most distressing assaults on civilians in recent weeks. Footage from the scene showed severe damage to the supermarket building, with shattered windows, collapsed walls, and debris covering the streets, highlighting the intensity of the explosion, as confirmed by Fedorov. This latest attack comes as Ukraine, the United States, and Europe continue working closely to finalize a peace deal aimed at bringing an end to the long-running conflict and offering Russia a path toward negotiation and stability. Zelensky, U.S. Envoy Witkoff, President Trump's relative Jared Kushner, and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz met on December 14, holding high-level discussions focused on security cooperation, reconstruction plans, and the ongoing efforts to stabilize the region. Meanwhile, Ukrainian drones targeted Moscow throughout the night of December 14 into December 15, according to Moscow Mayor Sergei Sobyanin, who stated that the attacks triggered multiple defense alerts across the Russian capital. Russian air defense units reportedly shot down at least 15 unmanned aerial vehicles heading toward Moscow, Sobyanin claimed, emphasizing that swift defensive actions prevented greater destruction and potential civilian harm. These attacks come less than a week after Ukraine reportedly launched another massive drone strike on Moscow, involving more than 30 drones on December 10, marking a significant escalation in aerial warfare between the two nations. No casualties were immediately reported in Moscow after the drone strike, according to early reports, which indicated that despite the intensity of the attack, there were no injuries or fatalities among civilians or emergency personnel. Ukraine reportedly used long-range drones to target multiple locations inside Russia, the Kyiv Independent stated, suggesting that Kyiv's military strategy now includes strikes far beyond the front lines to weaken Russian supply and defense networks. Temporary restrictions were imposed at Moscow's Zhukovsky and Domodedovo airports, forcing flight delays and diversions, as authorities worked quickly to ensure the safety of passengers and prevent further drone-related disruptions. Residents of the Ostrinsky district reported hearing over a dozen loud explosions, according to local media, describing blasts that lit up the night sky and caused widespread alarm across several neighborhoods. On December 13, Ukrainian forces launched strikes on multiple assets inside Russia and in occupied territories, continuing their campaign to disrupt Russian logistics and military infrastructure deep behind enemy lines. The strikes targeted the Yuryapinsk oil depot in Volgograd Oblast, as well as 2 fuel storage facilities in Crimea, leading to large fires and significant damage to key energy reserves supporting Russia's war effort. In the meantime, Russia carried out new attacks on Ukraine's energy and civilian infrastructure, striking power plants, residential areas, and essential services in an attempt to pressure Ukraine ahead of critical winter months. Over a million Ukrainian households were left without electricity after a series of intense Russian strikes on December 13, plunging entire regions into darkness and forcing emergency teams to work through the night to restore critical power lines and heating systems. President Volodymyr Zelensky described the attacks as an act of terrorism against the Ukrainian people, stating that Russia's actions prove it has no genuine interest in peace but is instead determined to break the spirit and resilience of the nation.